Welcome, folks. My name's Dave Hodge, and I'm the president of Zimtu Capital. We're your hosts for this special Zinc8 AGM, and certainly looking forward to the meeting and to Ron's presentation. All right, so at this point, I'd like to introduce Ron Macdonald, the man behind Zinc8, and he might try and pass the credit on to some of his staff. However, as far as I'm concerned, this is Ron Macdonald. He's the man behind Zinc8. Ron, take it away.
Okay, thank you, and welcome everybody to our first annual general meeting of Zinc8 Energy Solutions. Before I start with my presentation, I just want to say we're doing this a little different because of the stacking up at the end of the year of AGMs. And so we'll have the formal meeting after I do the presentation.
Correct.
But I'm looking on screen and I see a lot of people that I know, and I want to thank them for their interest and support in Zinc8 Energy Solutions. I, in particular, want to thank Michael Ryman, who's on the screen there, Michael, who served for right up until today as a director of Zinc8 Energy Solutions. I want to thank him for his service, not just as a director, but also as CFO. And so, Michael, thank you so much, and it's good to see that you're one of the first faces here today. So the way that we're going to do this, I just want to give a presentation and talk about where we're at. I don't know how long it will be. I'll go by script as much as I can, but those that know me know that many times I veer a little bit off. So maybe we can get a start. I want to talk about a few of them. I already talked about New York Power Authority Innovation Challenge winner, and so that is a big project. That project put us on the international map because of the New York Power Authority's reach globally. NYSERDA, we already talked about that, but I want to talk about this one because we did it, and I don't know what was going on that week, but we didn't get the market traction that we should have. We're getting it now, a month later. So what happened is down in New York, the city has mandated through a couple of laws a decarbonization of any buildings over 25,000 square foot. This is not like, can you give us a target? These are absolute numbers that they have to reduce their carbon footprint. Now, the Department of Buildings in New York regulates over 1.2 million buildings. Think about that. That market is 1.2 million buildings. So they had a decarbonization challenge. There was a huge board that selected who the winners were. There were 4 winners, and over on the storage side and the battery side, we were picked as the winner. We became the winner. Now, what does that mean? It means that the city of New York is going to support us and be included in their building code. So we are the #1 company in the world that operates out of New York that can participate in this marketplace. So I mentioned what the marketplace was. It's 58,000 buildings. Our solution going in, even if there's no rooftop solar or other renewables, we can load shift, buy the power at night in our battery at 5 cents, and reduce any company that's our partner, reduce their dependence the next day on 30-cent power. The power that's produced at night, that's bought at night, has a lower carbon footprint. So we think that this is probably the biggest market that opened up that we didn't expect. Because when we made the application, we thought, well, maybe we got a chance. We won that. The third derivative, Rocky Mountain Institute, is amazing. So the Rocky Mountain Institute is out of Colorado. It is a global NGO, and they've been around forever, one of the most esteemed in the world. And so what they did is they started to work with other companies and said, things are happening too slow. We've got all of these innovative technologies that are out there globally, but these technologies are taking too long to get to market. They're having trouble financing. They're having trouble getting traction because they're innovative, and that's the nature of it. So they put together a group, which is amazing. And we got Microsoft, we got Wells Fargo Bank. The companies that they pulled together that are committed to this have over $3 trillion in net value. $3 trillion, the biggest companies in the world that we could deal with. They also put together 8 to 10 venture capital funds that have over $1 billion available. There was over 620 applicants from 6 continents. Okay, this was not a local thing, from 6 continents. And they picked 47 companies globally that they are going to put into this cohort, and they're going to support us to rapidly advance into production. Now, it's interesting, when all of the companies got together virtually a couple of weeks ago, the introductory remarks were made by Sir Richard Branson, and they were humbling. And one of the things that he said is you've been selected because the world can't wait. Your companies and the innovators that are behind it are the best in the world. You cannot fail. We will not allow you to fail. That's a great weight, but it's a great honor as well. So we're now into that, and this is an amazing thing to help us move forward with the support that we need, and also financial support, technical support, and market support to do exactly what Sir Richard Branson said. The last one is Scale for Climatetech. So we were selected from Chad, to everyone, thank you Chad, but you're right in the middle of my screen. Zinc8 selected for a manufacturing accelerator focused on de-risking and scaling up related commercial efforts. What does that mean? Well, the state of New York has determined that the high-tech future and the high-tech and well-paying jobs they want for the people of New York State are at risk, because normally the people that develop the technology, the innovation, and then the product have difficulty taking it to market and surviving. So the survival rate is pretty low, 5-year survival rate. So the government of New York put together this program. It's an accelerator program, and it's got the most amazing people and companies in it from the manufacturing sector. And they are working with Simon, Fan over here, and Tristan over on our team. And it's a very, very tough program to get into. They spent hours and hours and hours of presenting to. It's a competitive process. We were selected to go into this. It's a 1-year, 10-month program, which will significantly de-risk for you, our investors, and our market, going from where we're at today to production in 2022, 2023. So these are amazing things that have happened to this little company, and it presents us with a huge opportunity, but one that as a team, we've got to be very focused on and very determined to bring this to market. Next slide.
Ron?
Yeah.
Maybe you could just tell the audience about our secret supporter in New York. The guys with the big red trucks.
The guys with the big red trucks.
The fire department.
Oh, okay.
I think this is the key to the whole thing, is the support we're getting from the fire department.
So over on the winner of the New York Department of Buildings Innovation Challenge, and Simon would know more on this, but there was it wasn't 5 people that made the decision. It was a whole group of people, probably 15 to 20 groups. The most important is the New York Fire Department. New York Fire Department has sign-off on any building permits in the city of New York, all boroughs. And they have been having heartburn over lithium-ion batteries, because some see them as huge fire hazards, particularly in Manhattan. And there's significant rules in place to diminish any new batteries that are lithium-ion going in. They voted for us. So the Fire Department of New York voted for this technology to support the decarbonation challenge.
And with that support, we can't lose.
We can't lose as long as we're smart and as long as we deliver what we say we're going to deliver. Thank you for that, Dave. So I don't want anyone to do a screen pick on this. And we talked about this earlier with Simon and with Dave. This is just a snapshot of yesterday. So what we do is we can talk a good game, but this is all about bringing your product to market and getting money and getting returns for the shareholders. So we have a path to commercialization. It's very technical. It's got a lot of moving parts. We review it every week, and every week it may stay the same. Most often it just gets adjusted. So we're on the ball on this. But so this goes through all of the things that we are planning that drives us on every day what we do. But the big thing that I want to put in is, because of the manufacturing accelerator and also the Rocky Mountain Institute, and also the market that is in New York, like starting right now, we are finding ways to advance our product in the market. Our hope is that we would have revenue in from sale in 2022. Last time you heard me, we were saying 2023, and that we would have profitability on our first tranche of commercial production in 2023. So we're very focused on taking this product to market. That's what we're focused on. And we're focused on being first mover in these markets in New York City with the utilities and with VGI Electronics and with the Australian partners that we've got. So we're very focused on this, but you know, these things take time and they take money. We're shortening the time because money will help. And this is just a snapshot. You see it in our presentations, you see it in our financials for the AGM. I thought it was appropriate that we just give a snapshot. And Soren, I don't know if Soren is around, but he can answer these questions. Soren is the new CFO. Congratulations, Soren. He took over from Michael. But this is looking at this looks at everything. It looks at the shares outstanding as of Friday, total warrants, total options, exercise price. And as you can see, and I can tell you that now that the stock is performing better in the market, we're getting lots of warrants exercised, and we think that continued support in the market, we'll see a lot of this exercised. And so that in large measure helps us get from where we're at today through to 2022 and into 2023. Any questions, Dave?
Let's save questions for later.
Yeah, we'll save the questions for later. I wanted to put this down here because it's really important. Because, you know, hearing people say, well, you know, they're not really building it. Yeah, we're building a battery. This is our first battery. This is after 9 years of hard work on the tech, and this is for Surrey House. So maybe just go through this. This is some of our team. They're all important, and they work so hard to meet our delivery deadlines on this. And you can see they're starting to install the components into the container. And there's Steve and a bunch of our guys. Next one. So with that, I want to go through, don't know how we're going to do this, Colton. We're going to do a short little video because I want to show that there's some great people in our company. These are not the only people, but this is my team leaders. These are the guys, and there's gals behind them that have been responsible to get us where we're at today. So let's start and see who's going to, I think it's John.
Okay. All right, Simon. So I'm John McLeod. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Zinc8. And I've been with the company since 2012 when it started here in Vancouver. Right now I look...
Oh. Sorry, it's a Wi-Fi issue.
Since 2012 when it started here in Vancouver. Right now I look after the administration of the engineering group. I manage the company's patent portfolio, and I also lead the software development. I'm delighted by the strides that the company has made and is making to commercialize the product. In my career, I've managed both large and small products and seen them through development into production and ultimately into field service and customer support. As an engineer with a background in product development, there's nothing as rewarding as seeing a customer use the product that you've helped to develop. So for me, it's a very exciting time and very exciting for the company. Yes.
Steve. I'm Steve Edley. I'm a verification engineer and regulatory engineer, and I've been with the company for 2.5 years. And I'm currently working on a listing of our product, and also working on a number of standards committees to make sure that the standards accommodate flow battery systems like ours. And so we're writing new language for those standards. And I'm also working on integrating of our product into a complete energy storage system. So we supply the battery, and we work with others to integrate our product into energy storage system with inverters and with controls that provide a complete product for the customer. And looking at our product currently, it's going very well. And integration is going very well for our first project, and I look forward to seeing the result.
Sure.
Hi, my name is Soren Spino, and I'm the new Chief Financial Officer at Zinc8 Energy. I've been with the company since 2018. I have more than 18 years of experience in accounting and financial management, and up until now, I worked with small and medium companies, all in different industries. My role with Zinc8 is to oversee the full cycle accounting functions, report financial statements, and support the management, the senior management, with planning and executing their initiatives related to the company management. Looking forward to help and contribute to the development of the company. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Simon Fan. I'm the Chief Technology Officer, as well as the VP of Product Management and Zinc8. So I have a PhD in chemical engineering, specializing in chemistry. Right now, what my role in the company is to oversee the R&D team, particularly on the development of the cathode production and related production, and on the electrode, on the regenerator electrode, and also on the system, pieces like chemical behavior inside the system, and like the electrolyte behavior in the system as well. I also responsible for the NIPA project and the NYSERDA project that we where we're gonna deploy 2 demonstration products to market in 2022. One in upstate New York and the other one in Brooklyn, New York. And I'm very excited to be part of the project, and I'm looking forward to seeing that project being deployed in the critical area of our business.
Thanks.
My name is Tristan Sloan. I'm the VP of Engineering here at Zinc8 Energy Solutions. I've been here since the beginning of 2013, so I'm coming up on 8 years of working on this project, this technology. I'm responsible for a team of engineers. We have, which is about 15 people, and it's a mix of mechanical engineers, materials engineers, and electrical engineers. And I'm responsible for managing the technology development and the product development and planning for manufacturing of the product. Our main focus right now is to finalize the prototype field installation that we're working on. That's going to be going to a local residence. And as far as progress for this past year, I think it's worth mentioning that we do have our first prototype deployment released from our facility, and it's at the system integrator, and it's getting prepared to be shipped to the site. And I'll say that this year has been very exciting because we've had several exciting advancements in our fundamental technology, but as well as in our some of the strategy of our systems. So I'm looking forward to 2021. It's going to be a very exciting and busy year. And yeah, it's exciting to finally see all the hard work that's been going into this over the past 7 years actually evolving into a product. So.
Anita, who's the shareholder here in person? No, thanks.
Okay, are we back on?
We're back
All
on.
done? So I want to thank that team. I've had the privilege of working in all of my career with some of the best and brightest. These are the cream of the crop. They are the best and brightest, and they've stuck it in for a long time. There's one other person that's not on there. It's Mark Badjo, because he was on the third derivative call at the time that this was being done, and he's playing a huge role. He's responsible. He's Vice President Business Development and Partnerships. So the VGI Electronics, the Australian group, and others that we're dealing with are his responsibility, as well as leading a very small team to ensure that we are bridging the communications gap between the business market development and the technology development. And Simon is also on that committee. So I just wanted to say that. But, you know, that was 5-6 people. We also have on top of that, they manage 25 other highly skilled individuals, men and women out there that are the best and the brightest, that will get us to the markets and give the returns that this initial group of shareholders really deserve for hanging in with us. So with that, I'm going to end my presentation.
Take questions later
And we will take questions at the end.
at the end.
So we'll now attend to the formalities of this AGM. Mark Faggio, the Vice President, Business Development of the company, is present, and I appoint him to act as Secretary of the meeting. Anita Bassi of Computershare Investor Services, Register and Transfer Agent for the shares of the company, is present, and I appoint her as scrutineer. And Bernard Pinsky, Legal Counsel for the company, is here. And with the consent of the meeting, I'm turning over the formalities of the meeting to him. Bernard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I'm going to try to attend to the formalities as quickly and as efficiently as possible, and we can have questions at the end, both on the presentation and the legal side. So the notice calling this meeting and all the proxy-related materials were sent out in accordance with the company's articles and the BC Business Corporations Act, and I have Computershare's affidavit of mailing, and of course none of you would be here unless you received the material, so it's good that you did. So I'll dispense with calling of the reading of the notice, and I'll ask Mr. Baggio as the secretary to file the declaration of mailing with the minutes of the meeting. I have an interim scrutineer's report, and we do have a quorum here. We've got 142 shareholders represented either in person or by proxy, representing over 9,580,000, almost 9.6 million shares. So this does meet the quorum requirements, and therefore the articles and the Business Corporation Act, excuse me, have been met, and this meeting is duly constituted and called for the transaction of business. So the first item of business is the presentation of the financial statements. The financial statements have been filed on SEDAR, and they have been, that's for the year ended December 31st, 2019. And while we don't vote on the financial statements because they are as presented, we have the CFO of the company and the former CFO of the company online in case there's any questions on the financial statements. Are there any questions from any of the shareholders on the financial statements for December 31st, 2019? They're obviously very self-explanatory, and therefore a good job for the auditors and for Michael Ryman, who is the CFO. Thank you. And so those financial statements are hereby received by this meeting. So now we get into the voting issues, matters, and the first item of business is to set the number of directors at 4. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, I will ask for all those in favor to raise your right hand. Anybody opposed? Carried. So we have four directors to elect, and management in the information circular has asked that the following persons be appointed or be elected as director. And I'll ask somebody to move that Mr. Ron Macdonald, Mr. Sean Charland, Mr. Charn Deal, and Mr. David Hodge be elected as directors for the ensuing year. 3 of those people are here in attendance in person, and Mr. Sean Charland is on the Zoom call. Can I have a motion to that effect?
Can I move that?
Yes, you can.
Oh, good. I like voting for myself, so I'll make that motion.
There you go. Any other nominations? Hearing none, I'm going to declare the nominations closed. I'll ask for a motion that 4 people who've been nominated to fill the 4 positions be declared elected.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor? Passed. Carried. Thank you. Next item is the appointment of the auditor, and the company would like to a motion that the auditing firm of Adam Sung Kim Ltd, professional CPAs, be appointed auditors, and that the directors be authorized to fix their remuneration, which is a quirk of BC company law that you have to get shareholder approval for that. But of course, it's always they send you a bill and you either pay it or you negotiate it, right? And you don't go back to the shareholders. But anyway, may I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Anybody opposed? Carried. Thank you. Next item of business is the ratification of the stock option plan. The company's plan has been appended to the information circular. It is your standard 10% of the issued and outstanding company shares, so that it allows the directors of the company to give incentive to people through stock options. And so that the resolution that I'll ask for is that the stock option plan as set forth in the November 16th information circular, including the reservation of 10% of the issued and outstanding common shares, be ratified, confirmed, and approved, that the directors be authorized in their discretion to administer the plan and to modify the plan and to actually issue grant options under it, and that any one director or officer be authorized to take such steps as are required to go ahead and do all this. They have a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor? Anybody opposed? Carried. Next item of business is the long-term incentive plan. The long-term incentive plan is a little bit different than an option plan. It can allow for the granting of shares which could be earned on certain performance or time criteria. For companies like this, where there's long lead times, the long-term incentive plan has turned out to be a very good incentive to hire the best and the brightest, especially when technology companies have had the kind of success that they've had, and you want to give people the ability to have a piece of the company and a stake in it if they meet certain performance or time criteria. So I'll ask for a resolution that the long-term incentive plan which has been attached as Exhibit Schedule B to the Management Information Circular, be affirmed and approved. This is up to 10% of the issued and outstanding shares of the company, just like the stock option plan. That the board be authorized to administer it, and that any director or officer is authorized to do such things as to make it come to fruition. Can I have that motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you. Any discussion on the long-term incentive plan? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your hand. Anybody opposed? Carried. Mr. Chairman, it looks like all the formal part of the business of the meeting is over. I will, unless somebody has something that needs a shareholder resolution, I'll ask for a motion that the legal aspects of the meeting be terminated.
My favorite motion. So moved.
Any discussion?
No discussion.
All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much for attending, and I'll turn it back to Ron Macdonald.
Okay, thanks, Bernard and Anita. Really appreciate all of the support that you've given us over the year and the advice as well. So that concludes our first AGM. We put a lot into this in a short period of time, but I guess what I want to say is we're on the right track, guys. You know, I've done a lot of different things in my life, and I said that to Dave, and it wasn't in a nice way about a year ago. It was Dave that asked me to come on and to have a look at going on the board here, and I was going to retire for my fourth time, Dave. It was my fourth retirement. It's going to be last June 23rd on my birthday, and the stuff that he sent me just enticed me to have a look and look deeper, and I just said, I got to be part of this. Dave and I go way back on other projects, and I said, I want to be part of this. And I am so glad that this is the best opportunity. I'm privileged to have been given it. I work with an amazing team. The product that we've got, I just wish that as shareholders, you could have ears in some of the meetings that we're having on the business development side. But some of the largest corporations in the world, we're dealing with one of the largest revenue corporations in the world. We're dealing with the largest player in one of the biggest businesses in the world. We're dealing with amazing companies in the high-tech sector, data firms, that all see the solution that we're offering as one that they desperately need. The pressure on us as a team is really to every single day figure out how we can be better, smarter, and work harder to get this product to market. There's nobody else in the market ahead of us. There's nobody. And there's a lot of spin out there that there's a company here and they got this technology. Well, you know what? It's taken us more than 12 years in total in this latest iteration. It's taken us 8+ years. You can't skip over that. That's a trial and error thing that you do in technology. So somebody's got a great idea today, great, see in the market in 12 years time. Our focus is to have the funding in place, both by equity and by debt, in order to take this product to market. Like we've got people like the Empire State Development Corporation, New York, that is luring us to do our assembly, part of our assembly in New York State. And so we're looking at every option that gets us where we need to get to without a whole lot of dilution in the company. So we're going to get there. Do we have challenges? Absolutely. Will we have success? Absolutely. And we're going to have more partners, and the next year is going to be a tremendous growth year for us. I had mentioned earlier, we have to acquire more industrial facility. We are chock-a-block. We can't do anything else out at our spot. I mean, I don't have an office. My office has got four employees sitting in it now, and I just wander from empty boardroom to empty boardroom out there, and there's only 2 left. So we're going to be building out 4 new batteries next year in-house. I call them Franken batteries because they'll be built for specific purposes, and that is to advance the hundreds of tests that we need to do to take this product to manufacturing with a high degree of confidence in its performance. So, we said in order to do that and to get into revenue sooner, we need to have a different facility that's a pre-production facility that our M Corp down in New York State is going to help us a great deal with. So we're moving forward. We're cautious. We watch our pennies, which watch our nickels, which watch our dimes and dollars as we go forward. So hopefully you guys will, as shareholders, will continue to support us. This is a great story. It's not at its end point yet, but thank you for your support. And now we can see if there's any questions.
Yeah, so if people do have questions, they can, there's 2 choices. You can use the chat function and send your question through that way, and we'll get the right person to answer it. If you prefer to ask your question in person, just unmute yourself, and we will see that and ask you to ask your question at the right time. So I see we have some questions already. Simon or one of the guys from the office, you're welcome to answer those questions.
I think Simon. Simon, are you still there? If you'll unmute and respond to this.
Yes, I am, but which question to answer?
So it looks like I think you answered most of the questions in the chat there, though there is one about third derivative.
The third derivative.
Yeah, well, we have, what was the question?
How exactly did third derivative and the various entities evaluate the technology? They have access?
Obviously, they couldn't come to Vancouver and look at our lab, but we had more than 3 or 4 meetings with them, with their senior people, and we actually went into, I think, the 4th round of interview with these people, and we sent them data. We sent them our cell performance data, and then we put together a summary of what our tech could do, and that's about what they need. Because fortunately, we also have the data for SDTC, which is the program that we were accepted to in 2016, 2017. And then we have the longevity data of our stacks. And so they're just ready to go. So we forwarded them that package plus the data that the internal testing data that we had in the lab, where we tested our mass-produced parts, the new design of the stacks. So they're happy with it, and that's why we accepted.
Okay, the next questioner, who are your competitors? I'm going to just throw one sentence out, and then Simon, if you want to follow up. Our competitors out in the market for long duration storage, we don't have any at this point other than pumped hydro. on the price per installed kilowatt hour of storage. The only two other technologies at this point in time would be pumped hydro, which is geographically restricted. That's a hydro dam. And the second one is some of the new case technologies, which are also geographically restricted, because the current technology goes usually in abandoned salt mines. So you got to be, so that's it. Pumped hydro, big lake, and an abandoned mine somewhere, most of which are never that close to market. Simon, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, well, if I tell people that there are no competitors, then that means we're lying. Like, if the market is attractive enough, there should be a lot of competitors. But fortunately, the market that we identify is a market that has a lot of barrier to entry. When you talk about megawatt scale, you got a lot more option, because to invest in a project, you take 30 million to build a plant, to build a thermal plant, to build a hydro dam, billions of dollars. But our market is more on the 100, 200, 500 kilowatt size inside the building, besides the building. There isn't much option there, because now you also have to answer to the safety side of the tech. And also like our battery is so modular that to put a battery inside a building, probably it would take you less than 100K or 200K, depends on the size of battery. There's no tech out there besides lithium-ion battery right now that could give you that price point. But then they're not allowed to. And when I say that price point, I mean the 4 hour or less, but we are a battery that could do 8 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours, 24 hours. So when we go to that kind of duration, there's no other tech that could allow you to do that right now. There are ideas, but ideas take 5, 10 years and a lot of money to transform it into a product. So that's all I'll say.
Thanks, Simon. Quickly, again, from Joshua, partnerships and customers. We've got, and Mark, if he wants to speak to this, he could, if he wants to unmute. But we're in at least a dozen discussions at various stages. We've signed 2 agreements in principles, one with Vijay, which is in Hyderabad, India. And it's interesting, we do our calls at 10 o'clock at night. And this is a really good company. And they came to us, they're operating in 42 countries. They have contracts with every state utility in India, as well as the federal utilities. They're highly, highly, highly regarded globally. 60% of their transformer business was bought out by Toshiba. So that tells you that, you know, they've got something there. We're working with them on a number of different things. We're exploring whether or not they can help reduce our overhead, the input costs in some of our parts, and also looking at how they may be able to open up a pipeline of business for us. We're also working with another couple of companies over in India. One of them is one of the largest mining companies in India. It's the second largest zinc producer in the world, and they have an interest in us for a whole bunch of reasons. So they're the types of partnerships that we're currently talking to. There's at least, Mark, if you want to come on, you can. If not, that's fine. There's at least another 7 or 8 that are in the middle or becoming very mature. They're all large companies that have pipelines. Comes from the market, guys. Where do funds come from to pay your employees? Comes from the market. We don't have any debt. So it comes from shareholders like you that are and others that have invested in the company and currently that are exercising their warrants, which are in the money. And so that's the current thing. And I would also say to any of the Zimtu sales activity and anything to do with that, Zimtu as a major investor in the company certainly supports us. And I am very, very happy to have Zimtu here. So they do a lot of the heavy lifting with us, and they do some of our promotional activities. Would I consider a strategic JV to de-risk? Yes. And we're actually in a number of negotiations on that. Anything else? At this point, we have no debt. I'm talking about as of Friday or Tuesday. There's a lot of water under the bridge between the end of the financials and today, but we really don't have any debt other than, you know, the revolving accounts payable. But we're not adverse to debt. I'm not adverse to debt, but if it's for the appropriate thing. For us to get the market will be, and I've said this everywhere, it's on our website, is $35 to $50 million. And that is not going to be all equity. So we are dealing with a number of debt providers, not just in Canada, the US, but globally, that have a huge interest in it. And our team will continue to discuss that. And on behalf of the shareholders, the board will make the proper decision to protect your interest.
Particularly because some of those interests are shared by the management of the company. We're all large shareholders.
Yeah.
So we'll certainly make the decisions to maximize the shareholder benefit. Shall I end it? Are we done?
No, the last one here is current finance. Well, we don't know. It depends on the opportunities as we move forward. But, you know, as I said, we've got a plan. The plan is as it is, and we adjust the plan when incoming information tells us that we should. Can you speak confidence from there? Look, I am so elated that we keep winning. Our technology on a competitive basis, we keep winning, right? These are not, you know, Mickey Mouse competitions. When we did the decarbonization challenge in New York, that was sponsored by the City of New York and the largest department of buildings in North America. We won that. They didn't just pick it out of the hat. Oh, it goes over to Zinc8. Our guys had to win and convince them that we were a company that they should support because we can help them deliver on their targets.
Yeah, and I would also say, Ron, that Simon mentioned that there's numerous interview processes, sometimes including full weeks of boot camps. But on top of that, there is significant application writing, both third derivative and Scale for Climatetech required 3 rounds of applications, significant applications that had to go through, and they started back in June, so it was a 6-month process of vetting for them to get all through all the companies to select the winners.
That was Mark. Yeah, so the last one is the foundation of a good company is the people. I've got the best talent. I'm telling you, I got the best team that I could ever have. What is your approach to attract new talent? It's by, and thank you shareholders for approving the RSU. That goes a long way. We're attracting people from companies that are way bigger than us, that have got big stock option plans and RSUs. So by passing that allows the management to put a performance-based reward in place of stock to attract people that otherwise shouldn't be with us because they can get better pay somewhere else. So that's why we had the RSU, and thank you for approving it. That gives us a lot of upside to attract these people. And it's an amazing thing. Money's not the only attractant. We're getting some people that are just interested in being part of a success, right? And that's pretty good for us. Okay.
We're done.
We're done.
On behalf of Zinc8 and of course Zimtu Capital, which I'm part of both of, I'd like to thank you all for coming. Certainly thank the Zinc8 team for their presentations, and our favorite security lawyer in the background there who performed the crucial details of the actual AGM. I'd like to thank all of you, and thanks for coming. See you next time.
Thank you, Dave.